Welcome into Sports Extra, everybody. I'm Marcus Greaves. We got a powerhouse squad here today. I'm joined with Gabe Burns and Reeves Jackson. Fellas, first of all, thank you for joining. How are we feeling?
Feeling good. Braves need to get that offense. It needs to wake up a little bit, but
definitely.
Otherwise we're good.
That's fair.
Starting to see some Falcons football back in action too. So
Man.
Always good to see that.
Gabe,
sometimes.
I was gonna say, Gabe hit it on the head first. I mean, the Braves. Interesting season so far. I mean, best team in baseball. We should say that first, which is good. They've been able to get the job done without Ronald Acuna Jr. because he has been hurt. He missed a little bit of time, but they still went 8-5 with him out. I mean, Gabe, I want to know, how big is it since that the Braves can still win without Ronald out there?
Well, it is big. I mean, they've won without a lot of guys. Actually, I mean, you wouldn't really think about it like how injured they've been, considering how they performed, and especially the pitching staff. I mean, the pitching staff is leading baseball in ERA, and during the spring, all we could talk about was how we were worried about their rotation, and, are they going to be a guy short in the bullpen? Like, no, they've come through there. Right now, I mean, since Drake Baldwin has come out, the offense has sputtered a little bit, but, this group has they've kind of proven that they'll figure it out. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that in time they'll kind of sort themselves out. And
it's good that they get, like we said, that they can still win and still sort things out even if their best player is out. Another guy that is out, which is tough, like you already mentioned, is Drake Baldwin. And Reeves, I mean, he's been fantastic, and you and I talk about it all the time. He is a absolute baller, leads all catchers in the majors with 13 home runs. He's going to miss some time. How much do you think that's really going to affect this right now? They are the best team in baseball still, though.
I guess when you think about losing Baldwin, it's a good thing that Ronald Acuna came back at a time when Drake Baldwin got hurt. But what a brutal blow for the Braves at catcher right now. Definitely. I mean, you DFA a guy like Jonah Heim, not doing much with the Athletics right now, but as soon as you DFA him, a few days later you lose Sean Murphy, and now he's out multiple weeks. And then shortly after that, you lose a guy like Drake Baldwin, who is one of the best hitters in all of baseball, not just on the Braves alone. And so now you kind of have to scramble at catcher, which is what they've done. They go out and get a veteran in Sandy Leon, and then a guy who's been in the Braves organization for a number of years off and on in Chadwick Trump. But look what he did on Friday night against the Nationals. Comes through with a big walk-off single. And Gabe, we talked about this a few weeks ago on the show after the Braves' first week of the season. Dom Smith at the walk-off grand slam against the Royals. And when the Braves were good outside of last year, that's when it felt like a bunch of different guys were coming through. That's what Chadwick Trump did. So good to see that.
Yeah, and that's really what it has been with this team is that, listen, and Walt Weiss said it, is that this team always finds ways to win regardless who it is. It could be one person one night, a different person another night, but that's important. One guy who has really stepped up lately has been Michael Harris. I mean, and Walt Weiss had nothing but great things to say about him the other day when he hit, 2 home runs in a game. I mean, Gabe, kind of say, what have you seen from him that has been so impressive?
Well, this has been really big for him obviously it's been big for the team, but he's a notoriously slow starter. And we know, and he's talked about it, and we have spent multiple seasons here, especially last year, obviously, just a dreadful first half, talking about he needs to start seasons better. So it has been awesome to see him be productive, to see him just find consistent success. And he's a game changer. When he's healthy, you're going to find guys in that clubhouse who will tell you he's the best athlete on the team. His ceiling, when he's rolling, he hasn't been an all-star, but he's an all-star, level talent when he's rolling. So, they're gonna need it again. Like the offense right now, Matt Olson hit he kind of got us into a slump right when Drake Baldwin gets hurt, and now you're gonna need certain guys to step. They're gonna need Michael Harris to continue doing what he's doing.
And Reeves, what do you think it's been with Michael Harris that maybe has been so impressive? Has it been the fact that he's been hitting more consistent? Is it the fact of you can kind of just plug him in wherever and he's going to find a way to get the job done or make an impact? What do you think it's been with Michael that's made him so impressive?
He's honestly tearing fastballs apart right now, man. His walk rate has improved a little bit. Obviously hasn't improved a lot. He's never been a guy that's been taking many free passes. But, the last 2 years, his OPS plus also has been under league average. Right now, it's top 50 in all of baseball for all hitters. So a lot of power gap to gap for Michael Harris, which is big. And just getting on base, coming through. He's on pace to break single-season home runs for the Braves right now. He's already at 11, his career high in a season is 20. So obviously had that big series in Miami, the 2-homer game. And so hopefully, like Gabe said, can continue being a big piece with Drake Baldwin out, as some of the guys have gotten a little slower, like Matt Olson and Ozzie Albies has been struggling the last few weeks as well. So hopefully Mike's bat can stay on.
And even though those guys are struggles, guys like Mike Yastrzemski, Mauricio Dubon, like they've stepped up. I mean, what do we think has changed with those guys? Hey, we'll start with you. Like, what has anything changed, or is it just like sometimes you just got to get out of a slump, you find your groove, and you're off to the races?
Yeah, obviously Yaz was a better player than he had shown. There's a reason that the Braves signed him to the contract that they did. So, I mean, if you ask the team, I'm sure they'd tell you they always thought it was just a matter of time for him to get going. Dubon has been honestly one of the best acquisitions that I can remember.
For Nick Allen,
for this team. And this team has made a lot of shrewd additions over the last handful of years. The way he's fit the clubhouse, the way he's performed, the optionality that he gives Walt Weiss, everything. He's just been pretty much perfect as far as what you would have hoped that you could get out of this type of player. And he's in a contract year. I think it would behoove the Braves to make sure that they can keep him a little longer.
Yeah, and he's been super impressive. And again, sometimes it's just what you need. You just need guys to step up at the right time. The Braves pitching, another thing, not to switch too much, but the Braves pitching has stepped up. And has it been a bit of a surprise to anybody? I know there's a lot of injuries coming into the season, but Reeves, we'll start with you. Have you been a little bit surprised to see what the production we've gotten from them has been?
Very surprised. That was one of the big concerns, especially in spring training. You lose. You already had A.J. Smith-Shawver on the shelf, and you lose guys like Kirsten Waldrop and Spencer Schwellenbach. But how about Bryce Elder? I mean, he's been fantastic. One of the best pitchers in all of baseball. And I think the good thing about Bryce Elder is his expected stats are pretty good too. It's not like he's very lucky right now like he has been in the past. He's added a cutter into his repertoire, and that's been huge. He's attacking hitters more with his fastball, and he worked in the offseason with Greg Maddux. And I think one of the big things for Bryce Elder is not only what he's been able to do, but his mentality on the mound as well. Seems like he's going after hitters more, attacking, getting ahead early in the count, and his fastball is still sitting 92 to 94, so it's not like he's overpowering guys. So him, Martin Perez has been a very nice addition who's pitched well again today, even though they lost. So a lot of guys stepping up. Hopefully the Braves can either make some additions or obviously get those guys back they lost in spring training.
And we're a little crunched on time, so we got to keep moving on, fellas. Georgia Tech, they won their first ACC baseball conference tournament since 2014. What's the ceiling for this team? And it has to be Omaha or bust, right? I mean, there's no question.
This team could win it all. They absolutely mash.
They do.
They are a delight.
Insane.
They are a
It's
delight
insane.
to watch. Good for them. Good for this program. Good for this city. I mean, Von Lackey, Drew Burress, these guys are going. I think these guys have, could be potential all-star major leaguers at some point. I mean, this program is humming, and I absolutely think they could win it.
The interesting thing about this team too is that they could be down, 2-1 or whatever it is, and then in a matter of 3 batters, you can be up however many. I mean, it's insane to me. But Reeves, I saved this question for you. I saved it for you. The Dogs, first ever conference championship.
Yeah.
What's the ceiling for them? Because again, same thing, they can mash.
They can mash. They've been most home runs in college baseball with 148. But honestly, this is crazy for me to say as a UGA grad. I still like Georgia Tech's team better than Georgia's. I really do. But I do think both teams end up in Omaha. Mm-hmm. I think both teams are going to be likely a number 2 and number 3 seed when selection Monday at noon tomorrow. And then I think both teams are going to be in Omaha. I think Georgia Tech's pitching is a little bit better, but Georgia's lineup top to bottom, that comeback win against Florida, they did something that I feel like the last 2 years they haven't. They just find a way to beat you in different ways. And I think that's something they hadn't been able to do in the past. But top to bottom, that lineup can mash, just like Georgia Tech's lineup. But I think Tech maybe a little deeper.
Interesting. I didn't expect that from you. But hey, both teams are going to be fantastic, and I'm sure they're going to make deep runs. But we got to take a quick time out, fellas. So coming up, the Falcons continue their off-season programs. Our first thoughts on seeing Tua and Penix next. All right, welcome back into Sports Extra, everybody. The Falcons have started OTAs. Gabe, give me your first initial thoughts on this roster. Do we like it? Do we not like it? Where are some holes in it? Or what are your thoughts, man?
It's not a great roster.
Whoa, okay.
It's not a great, but I don't think it's necessarily a bad one either. Look, they would never say this. It's an evaluation year. You have a new regime in here. Obviously, Kevin Stefanski's going to take a look at what he's working with. here's the bottom line. The bottom line is always the quarterback, isn't
Absolutely.
it? It's always, and I don't think anyone probably feels great about this quarterback situation. Some people might view that as being a bit dismissive of Michael Penix Jr. We just have not seen enough to have any level of confidence in him, right? And as far as Tua goes, I know that that's kind of a hot button topic everywhere. Are you a Tua guy? Are you not a Tua guy? I mean, I like a quarterback with a bit of a stronger arm, and just watching Tua doesn't particularly excite me. But we'll see. I mean, he might wind up the guy, and he might beautifully execute this offense, and this team could surprise people because in this division is ripe for somebody to surprise people.
Absolutely. And I feel like it's very interesting right now, too, because, of course, OTAs, offseason, everybody thinks it's going to be their year. I think it's been interesting because the vibe around the Falcons has been, we just really don't know. What is it going to be, even with the quarterback situation with, Reeves? What do you think? I mean, you're obviously going to have a battle between Penix and Tua. Is there one you're leaning more towards? Is there one you're more confident in? Or are you just kind of like throw it up in the air and let's see who can get this thing rolling?
I think I'm pretty optimistic about Tua, maybe more optimistic than some people. And I think a lot of it, too, maybe psychologically getting out of Miami, I think very tied to just his concussion history there, his injury history, especially that awful 2025. But you look back at a few years that Tua had in Miami, 2023, led the NFL in touchdown percentage. 2024, led the NFL in passing yards. 2024, led the NFL in completion percentage. So 3 really good years in Miami, and then obviously a really down year. But then you had, obviously, Tyreek Hill, the injury woes, and he tore his ACL. Jalen Waddle wasn't always healthy, so now he's gone anyways. But now Tua comes into a situation in Atlanta. He's got Drake London. They bring in Jahan Dotson. They draft Zachariah Branch early. Alameda Zaccheaus, who used to be with Atlanta, now comes back from Chicago. And so you got Kyle Pitts, obviously franchise tag. And you have the best running back in the NFL in Bijan Robinson. So I think Tua's got some weapons to work with. Not saying that I'm completely dismissing Michael Penix. I do think they start the guy they brought in on a 1-year deal. Miami's paying most of his money. And I think you'll let Penix learn behind Tua, another fellow lefty, for a year. So
and maybe just get some reps. I think that's the most important thing. Get completely healthy. I think that's the most important thing for both of the quarterbacks, unfortunately. But, you did say it, Gabe, that they have a new regime coming in, obviously, with Kevin Stefanski, his coaching staff. What do we want to see from them that will maybe give you a little more optimism about this team, this roster, or even moving forward with this season?
Yeah, I mean, really, it's just about putting players in the best position to succeed. And I know it sounds so cliche, but where this team is right now, you want to see development, right? You want to see, can they maximize this quarterback situation? And we do not know what maximizing these quarterbacks looks like. It could be you wind up with the 15th best quarterback situation in the league. You could have one of the worst. We don't know. To Reeves' point, Tua's going to come in here and Tua's going to look at this and say, I should be the starter here. I'm the one who's accomplished. So we'll see. But ultimately, to me, like this year, I mean, I don't look at it as I don't think they're going to be picking in the top 5. I also don't necessarily think they're going to win 10 games. I think but they could still win the NFC South, mind you.
Exactly.
But the important thing is, to me, is player development. Figure out what are your foundational pieces moving forward here, and how can you really make a jump next year as everyone's really settled in and maybe there's a little more clarity on your quarterback situation.
And I think that's the thing, is that a lot of people kind of just want some clarity. People just want to know that we have a plan moving forward from the Falcons, that okay, we have confidence in what they're going to do moving forward next season, the season after that, quarterback situation, whether that be receivers, what's the identity of the team, whatever you want to call it. Reeves, what do you think you want to see from Stefanski in the squad?
I mean, that's one of the things that they talked about when they let go of Raheem Morris. That was one of the things they said, that they didn't feel like there was a clear vision in place for what the Falcons were going to be in the future. So now you bring in Kevin Stefanski, and I think there's a lot of hands and the chefs in the kitchen, per se, in the offensive side of the ball right now. You have, obviously, Kevin Stefanski, offensive coordinator Tommy Rees. And then, of course, you bring in an offensive line coach in Bill Callahan, who's been around in the NFL for a long time. So you're going to have some new schemes. I'm excited to see what some of the rookies can do, especially Zach Branch from UGA. I think he could fit into that slot role immediately and be an impactful player from the get-go. So I'm really curious to see what that's going to be like, what the running game will look like with Bijan under a new offensive line coach. And then you lose Caleb McGarry, but Chris Lindstrom and Jake Matthews are 2 really solid anchors on the O-line right now. So I feel good about some parts of the team. And then get some guys coming back from injury, too.
So. You had to throw in the rookie, of course, Zachariah Branch. I know he's a UGA guy. Get it, Reeves. Gabe, who's maybe a rookie that you're excited to see? Because I know that there was a few that people were optimistic about, but I think Zachariah Branch, a lot of people can agree, was that one that everyone was like, this is the guy that we want to see here.
And and maybe we're all just suckers for offense.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. We watched this kid in college. We saw how dynamic. We saw what a weapon he can be, creating yards after the catch. I mean, he's going to be a real asset, and I think he's going to be whoever your quarterback is, he's going to be a solid underneath weapon, a guy that, you're not going to have to work too hard to get him the ball, and he's going to make guys miss. You get him in space, he is I think he'll complement what you have with Drake London well. I could understand maybe if you look at some of the receivers who are available, some people might argue that they wanted a little more size or a guy that's more of a asset on the boundary. But I think Stefanski and Reese are going to be able to do a lot with Branch, and I think that he's just going to make life easier for whoever the quarterback is. Because these short, just getting him the ball in space, getting Bijan the ball in space, you have you're not going to be throwing downfield, right? But you have guys who are going to be able to create yards for you.
And sometimes it's all that matters. Get them the ball and get the heck out of the way. That's what I like to say. You know what I'm saying? All right, we got to take a quick timeout. Coming up, what a day it was for the Atlanta Dream, breaking down their comeback win over the Mercury. We got that right after the break. All right, welcome back into Sports Extra. The Atlanta Dream, you could argue, are one of the, if not the hottest team in Atlanta. I know the Braves are great, but if you guys haven't seen at Gateway Center State Farm, they are selling out. Dream were down by 15 today to the Mercury, ended up coming back to win by 2. Team improved to 4-1 on the year. Reeves, we're going to start with you, man. This squad is nice, but give me your thoughts on this team, even though the season is still early.
Well, what Ryan Howard has done since coming back from concussion, so good. I mean, putting in 21 today, and then a lot of contributions all over the place. Angel Reese had the double-double today, and then how about Jordan Canada, 11 and 14 of her own, too. So a great comeback win. It honestly reminded me, I was telling our producer, Megan, it reminded me a lot of the first game of the season in that come-from-behind win. Angel Reese had the block at the end, and then today, very similar, 2-point game down to the wire, and the Dream, like you said, big comeback, and they're able to pull it out. Currently 4-1, so sitting at top of the Eastern Conference right now. So very nice to see early on.
They got a great mix with talent on their squad. Obviously, you lose somebody like Brittany Griner, but you gain Angel Reese. She not only is she going to sell the tickets, but she's given the production double-double, 15 and 10. I mean, it's impressive to see what she's able to do. Now, she might not have the flashiest game, but what she does do is get the job done and do a lot of the dirty work, which is what the Dream have needed. Gabe, what have you seen from Angel maybe that you've been really excited about, or to see that she fits this team well?
Well, exactly. You're talking about efficiency, and you're talking about a presence.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I mean, this is she has a real presence. Look at the way that this team is coming together. Not to kind of branch off here, but it is so cool to see how Atlanta's reacted to this, to how this team is playing, to see how excited people are about this. I think Atlanta gets kind of Atlanta loves hoops, but because of the Hawks' reputation is kind of an afterthought in the NBA, I think people kind of look at us differently. But I mean, this is cool. And I get it with Angel. There's the social media star power. It's a big name, but I think that just her physicality, I think that adds a lot. Obviously, you've got a star, you've got a face of the franchise talent, you've got. I love what this is. I love where this is going. It's an exciting time.
There's a whole lot of talent on this team, and listen, the season is still early. 4-1, like we said, one of the best teams in the league. Gave the Aces a run for their money. It's going to be interesting to see what they're going to be able to do because the squad is good. All right, folks, we got to take a quick timeout, but when we come back, we got to wrap up Sports Extra, so stick around. We'll be right back after the break. All right, welcome back into Sports Extra. NBA Conference championships have been very, very entertaining. You got the Spurs taking on the Thunder, New York taking on Cleveland. Fellas, I just want to get your thoughts on these. I mean, I'm just going to say this. New York is not ready for the Knicks to make the finals. You might throw an actual ball, but that city's going to burn to the ground.
No, and you know what else is San Antonio, even if they don't get out of this series, this looks like the next dynasty.
Yeah.
Right? How many bad teams are going – really, they had to get Dylan Harper too.
Yeah.
If you're Brooklyn, Brooklyn they've been tanking for 2 years. They can't even get a top 5 pick. They're going, are you kidding me? And they get Dylan Harper. But look, Victor Wembanyama's awesome. I think most of America is rooting for San Antonio because Oklahoma City is about the least consumer-friendly good team I think we've ever seen. It almost made me root for the Lakers.
Flopping like fish out there, man. But Shea won his second MVP, so I guess it's
fine. I mean, I think watching the conference finals as a Hawks fan and from Atlanta, obviously, you see who the Hawks were sandwiched in the middle of for number one picks, Victor Wembanyama and Cooper Flagg. And then, I mean, no shade to Zachary Ricochet, but it's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same.
It's okay,
It's okay, though. It's not the same. But
it's okay.
And then it makes me feel better as a Hawks fan seeing what the Knicks have done to the Sixers and to the Cavs. Since the Hawks went into Madison Square Garden, had that big comeback win, the Knicks have been blowing everybody out.
Which is exactly what you need to see if you're a Hawks fan.
Exactly.
Make you feel a little better. I know we were talking about conference, finals, but I mean, come on. I mean, if you lose by 50, like at least, hopefully the team that beat you by 50 is going to at least make it deep. And they're about to make it to the finals, so that's what we like to see.
And on the other end, James Harden. Have we ever seen a player this great that just completely wilts? And he's done this. I mean, it's every year. It's as reliable as it gets.
Houston days.
You can't even feel bad for Cleveland because they traded for this guy. You know what you're going to get.
Yep.
You know exactly what you're going to get. We know what we're going to get with y'all on the show, and that's a great show. Fellas, I appreciate you joining, and thank you so much for joining. We got a busy week ahead. OTAs in Flowery Branch. We got Georgia and Georgia Tech. The NCAA tournament runs. Fellas, it doesn't get any better than this. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you so much for joining. We'll see you again next week. Of course, we will have you covered all week on 11 Alive. Take care, folks.